the top of the third, it's Billy Hatcher with a single through the box. That brings home Chris Hammond, and it would prove to be the game's winning run and only run. Not only did it cost Astros starting pitcher Pete Harnisch the game, it ended his scoreless inning streak at 22 consecutive innings. Pitching was the order of the day, and starter Chris Hammond for the Reds was the one who prevailed. Here in the bottom of the fifth, he gets Carl Nichols to end the inning, going down on strikes. Hammond recorded 6 strikeouts through 6 innings, yielding just 2 hits to pick up the win and move to 7-5. His counterpart Pete Harnisch will be going to the All-Star game, and tonight was a good indication why. Harnisch went the distance picking up the loss, but yielded just 5 hits in the process. Here in the 6th, getting Herm Winningham out on strikes. In the 9th inning, Eric Yelding prevents the Reds from getting an insurance run, ranging across the middle to get Joe Oliver. That draws an argument from first base coach Tony Perez and manager Lou Piniella, and a good argument at that. The replay shows Yelding's throw draws first baseman Jeff Bagwell off the bag, but it didn't matter as Rob Dibble came in to pitch the 9th inning and record his 23rd save in as many opportunities to establish a major league record. Here he gets Luis Gonzalez to end the game, a fly to center field. As the Reds win 1-0, Dibble's 23rd save, Hammond moves to 7-5, Harnisch to 5-7. Friday night, Tommy Lasorda and the Dodgers look to put together another winning streak after their last one was stopped at 5 games. They take on Atlanta. Here in the first inning, Ron Gant doubles off the wall. Brett Butler can't come up with it. Around to score is Terry Pendleton, and Atlanta is up 1-0. Butler went into the wall hard, hitting his wrist, but he stayed in the game and was okay. In the bottom of the second, Alfredo Griffin ties it up for the Dodgers. He slices a sacrifice fly to right field. In to score was Cal Daniels, and the game was tied at 1-1 in the second inning. Tom Glavine, 11-4 and an all-star for Atlanta. Here gets Darryl Strawberry down on strikes. Glavine is the National League leader in strikeouts. In the top of the 6th, Jeff Blauser breaks the 1-1 tie with a 2-run home run off starter Tim Belcher. Up and away to left field, number 7, RBI 35 and 36, scores Ron Gant, and Atlanta led 3-1. Sure, if you asked him, Deion Sanders would say that he could play in the NBA. It's just that he can't find the time for 3 sports. One man who's stuck to one sport and done it well is Gary Carter. Here in the 6th inning, he collects his 2,000th Major League Baseball hit. Carter was stranded on base as Glavine limited the Dodgers to just 1 run. In the 9th inning, with the bases loaded, he faces pinch hitter Mitch Webster. With an assist to Rafael Belliard, they get the 6-3 putout to win the game 4-1. Glavine moves to 12-4. Loser Belcher drops to 7-5 as Atlanta picks up the win 4-1 in Los Angeles.
Host the Minnesota Twins at Comiskey Park on Friday evening. Carlton Fisk getting his eyes checked. He might want to get Jack McDowell's feet checked. No score in the 3rd inning. Mike Pallerulo with the pop-up, and Jack McDowell trips up Carlton Fisk, and the ball lands in fair territory. That is ruled a double, believe it or not. Check this out as McDowell trips Fisk, and where's the ball land but on Fisk's butt? And that's a double. And it would be costly because Chuck Knobloch follows with a stand-up double to right field over Dan Pasqua's head. It scores Mike Pallerulo 1-0 Twins after 2.5 innings. And that was the score through the early and middle innings until the bottom of the 6th when Dan Pasqua against starter for Minnesota Jack Morris doubles off the left field wall. Frank Thomas scores, and it's a 1-1 game through 6. Bottom 7, Robert Ventura hits a 3-run home run off of Jack McDowell into the right field seats. His 5th home of the year. Fireworks go off because it's a 4-1 Chicago lead. Top 8, a Carlton Fisk miscue behind the plate. A pass ball does enable Mike Pallerulo to score to make it a 4-2 Chicago lead. But that's as close as Minnesota got, as in the top of the 9th, it was Bobby Thigpen to the rescue. He induces Brian Harper to hit into a double play. Nice play with Ozzie Guillen there. And it was a 4-2 final as the Chicago White Sox defeat the Minnesota Twins. Jack McDowell 10-4, Jack Morris 11-6, Bobby Thigpen's 17th save.
Kansas City as the Royals take on the Oakland A's. In the top of the first inning, Harold Baines facing Tom Gordon, and Baines would ground into what looks like a 5-4-3 double play. The 5-4 turned out okay, but Jim Eisenreich can't handle the throw from second. This allows Ricky Henderson and Willie Wilson to score, RBI number 54 for Baines, and it's 2-0 Oakland. In the top of the fourth inning, Jose Canseco comes up with the bases jammed and sends this Tom Gordon pitch over the center field wall for a grand slam home run. Canseco's 21st home run of the season, his 60th RBI. This scores Mike Bordick, Ricky Henderson, and Willie Wilson. We'll take another look at the fine swing of Jose Canseco on this grand slam home run that made the score 7-0 Oakland. In the bottom of the fifth inning, Mike Gallego comes up, and he'll hit this solo shot into left field. For Gallego, his fourth home run of the season, RBI number 18, and the A's had an 8-0 lead. In the bottom of the sixth inning, George Brett would take this Andy Hawkins pitch to the opposite field over the left center field wall for his 26th home run of the season, and Kansas City cut the A's lead to 8-2. In the top of the eighth inning, though, Gary Thurman would come up, and he'll line a ball into the right field corner. This would take an AstroTurf hop and go over the head of Jose Canseco. The ball goes around the corner, and Gary Thurman goes around the bases for an inside-the-park home run, his second home run of the season, RBI number 8. The A's go on to win, though, 9-3. Hawkins is 3-5. Gordon 4-7. Steve Chitrin picks up his third save.
Pittsburgh. Devon Calderon isn't crying, but Expo fans are, as they've lost 11 in a row, their longest losing streak since 1977. Things aren't getting any better. Here in the first, Andy Van Slyke singles home Orlando Merced. Pirates up 1-0 on Van Slyke's 40th RBI of the season. But in the top of the third, Spike Owens puts the Expos up 2-1. He hits an opposite field double off starter John Smiley. Round to score pitcher Dennis Martinez and Marquise Grissom. RBIs 12 and 13 for Owen, and the Expos are up 2-1 in the third inning. Devon Calderon will be representing the Expos in the All-Star game. In the fifth inning, he shows why. Here a single through the right side scores Marquise Grissom to put the Expos up 3-1. In the bottom half of the frame, he shows a little expertise in the outfield. Orlando Merced sends a long fly ball to the wall in left field. Reaching up is Calderon with the grab at the wall. But then the hero turns into the GOAT. The next batter is Jay Bell. He sends a harmless fly ball to left center field. Marquise Grissom and Calderon spend more time looking at each other than the ball. It drops in, and Bell winds up on second base. The play proved costly as Bell later came home to score. With Bobby Bonilla facing Dennis Martinez, Bonilla singles into right field. Home to score is Jay Bell, and the game was 3-2 in the fifth inning. The next inning, starter John Smiley helps his own cause as he knots the game at 3 with a line single off the glove of Spike Owen. Around from second is Mike LaValliere with the game's tying run. It was 3-3 after 6. But in the top of the seventh, the Expos would push ahead again. This time it's pinch hitter Dave Martinez plating Dennis Martinez. He hits a ground rule double deep to left center field, up and over the wall. Around to score is Dennis Martinez, and the Expos recaptured the lead 4-3 with Dave Martinez's 24th RBI. 4-3 was the Expos' margin of victory as they finally end their losing streak at 11 games. Dennis Martinez, their all-star pitcher and league leader in ERA, goes the distance for the 4-3 win to raise his record to 10-5 as John Smiley drops to 9-6.
In St. Louis, the Cubs having a little fun in the dugout as they take on the Cardinals. In the top of the first inning, Jose De Leon was the victim of some bad fielding as Ryan Sandberg taps one to Todd Zeile. He makes a bad throw. Pedro Guerrero can't handle it. He chases after the ball as Chico Walker comes around to score. Guerrero's throw is wide. It gets by Tom Pagnazzi. This allows Ryan Sandberg to go all the way around the bases and score. And the Cubs had a 2-0 lead after one inning of play. In the bottom of the fourth inning, Felix Jose, who was selected to the All-Star team, grounds one to first base. and the Cubs can't turn the double play. Milt Thompson scores, and it's 2-1. In the top of the fifth inning, Ryan Sandberg picks up his 45th RBI of the season with this base hit, scoring Chico Walker, and at the end of 5 innings of play, it's 3-1 Chicago. In the bottom of the sixth, with the tying run at second base, Chico Walker comes up with a big play off the bat of Pedro Guerrero, and it's 3-1 at the end of 6. In the top of the seventh, Chicago would add some insurance runs as Rick Wilkins comes through with this bloop single to left field. This scores Mark Grace and Ryan Sandberg, and in the 7th inning, the Cubs had a 5-1 lead. That would be the final. The Cubs win 5-1. Frank Castillo with his first Major League win and a complete game. He improves to 1-0, and the losing pitcher was Jose De Leon. He drops to 3-7.
Fenway Park, the Boston Red Sox host the Detroit Tigers. Making his Major League debut is Kevin Morton. Here in the first inning, striking out Travis Fryman. Morton throws zeros early. With the Red Sox leading 1-0 in the second inning, Jody Reed is at the plate against starter for Detroit, Walt Terrell. Reed doubles to left field. Tom Brunansky scores. It was 2-0 Red Sox in the second. In the same inning, it's Jack Clark at the plate, now facing Terrell, and Clark doubles off the Green Monster in left field. It plates two, Wade Boggs and Jody Reed. That gives Boston a 4-0 lead early, and they take it into the middle innings. And you know, I'm getting a little bit hungry. I wonder if the vendor will give me a hot dog. Yeah, I'll use this fan as an intermediary, and sure enough, I get my hot dog. It's bottom of the sixth, Jack Clark at the plate. He uncorks a 3-run home run over the Green Monster, and that means it's his 6th RBI of the night. He would end up with a 7 RBI night. At this point, Clark's 11th round trip of the year makes it 7-0 Boston. The only scoring for Detroit would come off the bat of Cecil Fielder, who hits his 21st home run of the year, and Kevin Morton no longer has a shutout, but he is leading 7-1 through 6.5 innings. And then in the bottom of the 8th inning, Boston gets even more insurance with Mo Vaughn at the plate against reliever Mike Munoz. It's Vaughn getting a triple, and it'll be a 2 RBI triple down the right field line and into the corner course. Wade Boggs would chug around the bases, and he's followed by Jody Reed. 9-1 Boston, a Clark sac fly, his 7th RBI of the night, makes it 10-1 Boston. And that was the final, as Kevin Morton in his Major League debut goes all the way, striking out 9, here getting Mickey Tettleton to end it. Kevin Morton 1-0, Walt Terrell 4-9, and it's a 10-1 victory for Boston. Fans at the Kingdome in Seattle on Friday evening as the Seattle Mariners host the Toronto Blue Jays. In the 5th inning of play, a scoreless game, Brian Holman pitching to Mookie Wilson. And this is an infield single for Wilson. More importantly, Rob Ducey scores from third base, 1-0 Toronto halfway through the contest. And Todd Stottlemyre throwing nothing but zeros, getting Jay Buhner to strike out 10 the 5th inning, and through the middle innings it was 1-0 Toronto. Matching Stottlemyre pitch for pitch just about is Brian Holman, here getting Rob Ducey to ground out first base to pitcher to end the second inning. Bottom of the 7th, Dave Valley opens up with a triple, but it's a gift triple. Look at Devon White and Joe Carter playing Alphonse Gaston with the baseball. Valley's on third base with none out, the tying run. But now there are 2 outs. Bob McDonald pitching in relief of Todd Stottlemyre, but Ken Griffey Jr. comes through with a double off the wall in right center field. Dave Valley scores easily from third base, and it's a 1-1 tie. Meanwhile, Kelly Gruber and Derek Bell playing pepper in the dugout, while just beside them is the relieved Todd Stottlemyre. Relieved because Bob McDonald came in, not relieved because the game's now tied. But in the 8th, it's untied. Roberto Alomar doubles to center field, and that enables the go-ahead run to cross the plate in the form of Manny Lee, 2-1 Blue Jays. And in the bottom of the 9th, it's time for the Terminator, Tom Henke, to come in to fight off the infamous Let's Do It Animal House Seattle psych job by the scoreboard. And indeed, with 2 outs in the 9th, Harold Reynolds flies out to end it. So Seattle falls to Toronto by a final of 2-1. Bob McDonald 2-0, Brian Holman 7-9, Tom Henke's 15th save.
Diego Padres in the top of the second inning Fred McGriff takes this Mike Remlinger pitch deep into right center field for his 16th home run on the season, RBI number 53, and the Padres had a 1-0 lead. The Padres would hit their second home run of the inning, still in the top of the second. Benito Santiago with this opposite field blast, his 9th of the season, RBI number 38. Padres had a 2-0 lead. Then in the top of the 5th, another Padre came to the plate, Darren Jackson, and Jackson would connect for his 8th home run of the season. Once again, a solo home run, and the Padres were up 3-0 at the end of 5. But in the top of the 6th inning, the Giants would make a comeback. It would be Matt Williams at the plate. He was up against Ed Whitson, and he'll take this Whitson pitch into left center field for his 12th home run of the season, RBI number 45, scoring Kevin Mitchell, and the lead was cut to 3-2 Padres. But in the top of the 7th inning, it would be Darren Jackson once again with this line drive base hit. It scores Scott Kuba. Kevin Mitchell can't handle the ball, and Jackson goes into second base. It's 4-2 after 7. The Padres would go on to win this one 4-2 as Mike Maddox picks up his second save of the season, getting Decker for the last out. The winning pitcher was Ed Whitson. He's 4-6. The losing pitcher, Mike Remlinger, he dropped to 2-1.
Bottom of the second inning, Mark Langston, the All-Star, pitching to Brian Downing. And Downing hits this one out of here for a home run, his 8th home of the year. This left field shot puts Texas in front 1-0 in the second. That's the score early. Bottom 4, Ruben Sierra would score, as would Juan Gonzalez on this double by Steve Buechele down the left field line, 3-0 Texas. Same 4th inning, it's now Ivan Rodriguez at the plate. He singles up the middle through the drawn-in infield. Brian Downing scores from third, and Steve Buechele from second base. 5-0 Rangers through 4. That's the score until the bottom of the 6th inning, where Juan Gonzalez has his rooters. Well, they'll be happy because Gonzalez comes through with his 12th home of the year, a 2-run shot to make it 7-0 Rangers, and one more run in the inning, and it was 8-0 Rangers through 6 innings. The pitching was supplied by Jose Guzman, who won 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, walked 4, and struck out 4, here striking out Wally Joyner to end the 1st inning of play. And that 8th run that was scored in the game, oh baby, it was not a great one, but here it is anyway. It was important to Gary Green. He turns a 7-0 game to 8-0 as Steve Buechele scores from first base on this Gary Green double. And it is important, because for Gary Green, that's his first RBI of the season. 8-0 Rangers through 6. That was the final score because Mike Jeffcoat came on to pitch the last 3 innings in relief, turn his first save of the season. Louis Soho pops up to end it. 8-0 Texas. 12-3 is Mark Langston. 4-3 is Jose Guzman. Stadium in Philadelphia on Friday evening, the New York Mets are visiting the Philadelphia Phillies. Security guard, wake up, you're on camera. There you go. And it was 1-0 New York leading in the 1st inning when Philadelphia is at the plate again. Struggling starter for the Mets, Dwight Gooden. Dale Murphy, RBI single. Mickey Morandini scores 1-1 through 1. Nowadays, the criticism is that ball players are just like robots. You know what? They're right. Look at that. Tie score 1-1, top of the 3rd inning. Howard Johnson batting against Danny Cox, the starter for Philadelphia. Hojo doubled down the right field line. Kevin McReynolds tries to score from first base. The close play at the plate, and he is safe. New York leads at 2-1 in the 3rd. Top of the 5th inning, Danny Cox pitching to Kevin McReynolds. A foul pop-up and easy out, but Darren Dalton and Ricky Jordan collide, and the ball drops free. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Dwight Gooden strikes out the opposite number, Danny Cox, and Dwight Gooden, through 7 innings, had yielded but 2 hits. New York leads it. Another sac fly makes it a 3-1 advantage through 7. And with Ben Franklin in the audience, you would think it was turn back the clock day in Philly. Thank you, Pat O'Hearn, for that good line. It was turn back the clock for Dwight Gooden, who pitches 8 innings, gives up 3 hits and 1 run before being relieved by John Franco. With a 3-1 lead, Franco gets the save, his 18th. He does so by getting out of a jam. Runners on second and first, 2 are away. Wes Chamberlain pops up to Darryl Boston to end the ballgame. New York's 3-1 victory is their 5th win in a row, longest win streak this season. Doc Gooden 8-6, Danny Cox 3-2.
Jet, wondering if they can make it 7 in a row. In the top of the third, the Orioles broke on top. Sam Horn RBI single number 31 brings home Mike Devereaux, and the Orioles led 1-0. It was 2-0 in the third and could have been worse, but Matt Noakes bails out starting pitcher Tim Leary. He gathered the wild pitch and got it back to Leary just in time to make the tag on Horn. In the top of the fifth, the Yankees lost their center fielder Roberto Kelly. He goes back full tilt into the wall in pursuit of the Cal Ripken Jr. double off the wall. Ripken pulls into second, and Roberto Kelly pulls out of the game with an injured right wrist. Still in the fifth inning, it's Sam Horn at the plate. He delivers a big 2-run home run to right center field. His 13th of the season goes high and far into the bleachers. RBIs 32 and 33 brings home Cal Ripken, and the Orioles are up 4-0. They increased the lead to 5-0 before the fifth inning was up. But in the sixth inning, the Yankees answer with 4 runs of their own. Pat Sheridan, who replaced Roberto Kelly in center field, hits his first home run of the season and his first as a Yankee. Number 1 on the season puts an end to Jeff Robinson's shutout bid and ignites a 4-run rally. Later in the sixth, it was Matt Noakes at the plate. He doubles to the right center field gap. That brought home Don Mattingly and Mel Hall, and all of a sudden the Orioles' 5-0 lead was trimmed to 5-3. They cut the lead further to 5-4, but in the seventh inning, Randy Milligan answered with a solo home run to right field. His 10th home run on the season and 39th RBI made the score 6-4 as the Orioles go on to prevail in a 7-4 victory. Jeff Robinson gets the win. He's 4-6. Tim Leary, the loser, 4-8. Greg Olson, his 16th save.
Glenn, the Indians play host to Tom Troublehorn's Milwaukee Brewers. In the bottom of the first inning, it would be Reggie Jefferson connecting on this Bill Wegman pitch. He sends this one deep into the right field seats for his first American League home run and first American League RBI, and the Cleveland Indians take a 1-0 lead. That was a fine moment for Jefferson in the bottom of the first inning, but in the top of the fourth inning, Jim Gantner would get this one by Jefferson. This would allow Franklin Stubbs and B.J. Surhoff to score, and the Milwaukee Brewers take a 2-1 lead after 4 innings of play. The Tribe got some fine defense in the top of the fifth inning from left fielder Albert Bell off the bat of Darrell Hamilton as he bloops this one into left field, and Bell comes up with a nice sliding catch that saved an extra base hit, and it was still 3-1 at this point in the fifth inning. But in the top of the sixth, Bill Spires would single in the hole on the right side, scoring Franklin Stubbs, making the score 4-1. The Brewers had a 3-run lead. In the bottom of the sixth inning, the Tribe would get one back. This time Alex Cole would use his speed as he hits a ball in the hole. He beats out the infield hit, and Mark Lewis scores, and the score is 4-2 through 7 innings of play. The Brewers would go on to win 4-2 as Dan Plesac picked up his 6th save. Bill Wegman went 8 innings. He improved to 4-3. Rod Nichols took the loss. He's 0-7.